Morning, good morning. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Let everybody know we're starting here. Okay. All right, so I wasn't intending on looking at NVIDIA, but gapping down below the 21 EMA. Uh, this looks somewhat similar to what I had noticed back in, where was it? Right here, where we had this earnings. We printed pretty much the same candle and then moved lower after. So just keep an eye on that. We're going to want to take a look at, so let's see. Okay. Tesla's a little bit green, kind of doing its own thing. Bros is flat. That one's moving nicely off of our entry. Um, oh wow, Baba. Hopefully you guys held your shares there. Uh, what was it? Yen that I was looking at? Yep, yen moving good as well. So for this one, I'll probably, so we'll see how this closes today. But seeing how the momentum is shifting on this, I'm up maybe like we entered back in here. So I'd have to look at my portfolio, but we're probably up about 15, 16%. But you can see how the momentum is moving lower. And so I'm probably going to close my position if it ends up staying that way. Okay. Um, so yeah. But if it recovers, we'll see by the end of the day, and then I'll just decide by Monday if I'm going to close this or not. If you took Baba with me not a long time ago, but this in July, it's finally paying off with the earnings gap up. So um, bought that right around 120. It's trading at 130. So nice move off of earnings today. Completely forgot that I was holding that. Um, cool. So that's doing pretty well. BSX is flat. We're break even on this. I'm just looking for a break of resistance here on basically at 107. And I think that if we break that, we're going to head to 115. Bros, I'm looking for this. This is just starting to break out. So you can see here, we've got this higher low, higher low. We're up 70, 80%, something like that right now. And I think this is just getting started. We're just now moving outside of the weekly ATRs. So that's why options you just buy. It's kind of nice. You can buy far out of the money options that expire 6, 10 months away. And yeah, we're up 80% on this, and it's just now moving outside the entry zone. So like I'm looking for 80. Initial target is around 80, like right around the 2.5 ATR type deal. So this one looks great. High volume breakout. The earnings report was stellar. That's why we bought it. Not the best entry, honestly. We bought it near, we bought it on the support test, the 667-ish area. I think the options filled right around 67.50. But then you can also see here we had this high volume day, another followed by another one, and then continued. And volume started to die off, so we might just trade sideways a little bit. We are at the 2 ATR extension, but we just zoom out to the weekly. We have till January, and we're up 80%. That's an excellent looking chart. So, um, and Baba, yeah, I'm loving the action I'm seeing in Baba. I completely forgot that we were in this, but you can see here how it shifted, right? So we had this trading sideways. We got this buy signal with high volume. This is the new A plus signal here, is the green ones. So we got that buy signal there. Then we traded sideways with regular buy signals, but we started printing green candles. And I've been talking about this one if you guys have been with me for at least the past couple months. Stage one moving into stage two. So this one, I think, like first target's 150, right? And then from there, we can go based on that. Soxel moving lower. Check that chart. Yeah, some sort of gap down. Must have been some sort of earnings that came out, maybe. Let's take a look at all the rest of the stuff. Um, as for our Tesla position, we're just building higher lows over and over and over again. So there's nothing to go over on that. Now let's take a look at the indexes. Okay, so we might be getting a sell signal here today on the daily chart. Usually that's the signal where you want to stop adding longs. And so um, I think a big piece of what a lot of people are missing in their trading is they will keep trying to push longs um, when we get extended. Like we get up here, you're buying calls still, and then you get shaken out on this, and then you miss the move on this. So just be patient for the pullbacks. Weekly squeezes are a little different. They take a lot longer to play out. So you just buy them and you can see how Bros kind of has done. I mean, the market rallied some, but Bros has kind of done its own thing. Same thing with Tesla. They kind of just have been doing their own thing. BSX kind of been doing its own thing. And that's just because it's a different type of setup that you're not going to get shaken out on like so if SPY is in a daily uptrend, you're not going to get shaken out on let's do this so I don't have to keep flipping around. So do this, interval, no, date range, time, crosshair. Yeah. See if we can find the chart. Apply these indicators to entire layout. And then let's make these back to bars or candles. And then one thing that I do is remove the borders on these. And that's really only for trading view. So we can go to daily chart there, weekly chart here. And you kind of just live. Personally, I think it's worth living and breathing off the weekly chart. Um, so we have green candles, so you can continue to trade it in a bullish fashion. It started here. Like you can see we had green candles and then we got our first yellow candle and then look at it, there came the correction, right? Same thing here. You got the yellow candle, but then it turned right back to green. Okay, you got a green light to buy. Went to yellow. Okay, we got this correction. Yellow, flip back to green, and then there's your trending move. So longer term perspective, you can use this. Um, and I know a lot of you guys that are in here have the indicator, so if not all. So if you have questions, just let me know. But right now, it's just I don't really trade these mean reversion signals. I use them as a point of focus of okay, could we see a pullback to the 21 EMA here soon? That's what that's meant to tell. So like here, that sell signal, we stopped adding longs and then we started adding longs again here. Same thing here. It's just a cycle. Bars tell you the trend. Um, few things that I was looking at. So probably CCJ seems to be leading the way. So yeah, oh, it's fading the gap up. It should recover this. If not, it'll reset and likely hold structure, and then probably will be even better setup. OKLO, so far an inside day. I'm just not I'm not interested in buying when SPY's up here. Like we buy calls when SPY's at support and we find the stocks that are leading. that's how we're going to get the best bang for our buck. Or we just trade these weekly squeezes, which is a lot easier. So, um, in the meantime, I'm always looking for weekly squeeze plays. And then when we get these market pullbacks, I'm looking for the strongest stocks. Right now, we're trading, we're hitting high after high. And then now we're getting a sell signal. I'm not trading that. Once we get that flush where everybody gets scared like this, and then we get this shift, and look at that's when you want to start adding longs. Right now is not the time you want to add longs, but we can start building like our watch list. But we can't really build a watch list until the market pulls back further. We can look at weekly squeeze stocks. So like here, this looks pretty good. It's just if the market pulls back, I'm not interested in it. This one's showing relative strength. Similar with Roblox, they're all doing the same thing. They're all following the market. So uh let's take okay, so Aflac actually, if you look at the weekly chart here, this has got a good looking weekly chart. So kind of interested in this one. You can see the last weekly squeeze here. This was during the market correction. It held up really well and it's kind of just done nothing since. So let's take a look at the monthly. Yeah, the monthly is just creating a nice flag after a huge run up. And that was another one that I was looking at, D-Dog. This one looks really good. Is it green again today? Yeah. This one looks really good as well on the monthly chart. Sideways action, but we've got this huge pattern setting up. So keep an eye on that one. Bouncing off the 21, so that could be, or the 50, so that could be your risk line. Um, okay. Do you guys have any charts you want me to look at? Any questions, things like that? CLS pulling back from support. MDB. If you're not in it, you missed it. That's all I really got to say about that one. Had a huge gap up. This is a beaten down stock. People are ignoring it. Then you get this gap up. This was the day you should have entered with stops at the low a day, and you could have traded that. But from here, there's nothing to do. It's just run. It's moving without you. MP. This one looks pretty good. It's extended, so if we get a pop, look to trim real quick. That's about it for that one. It's very extended, so you're not personally, I don't think you're gonna get you might get a huge run, but the probability of it is significantly lower. Root. Mm, that support. There's nothing really to do here. Had sell signals back in here. That was the short. Nothing to do here. IBKR. This is my new broker. Looks pretty. So this is the thing that we're kind of losing. All right, AA. Tell me why you're looking at these stocks. You're kind of just throwing out a bunch of symbols. Like give me a reason why you're looking at it. I don't know if you're trading all these, but like give me a reason why you're looking at it. So what is this one? IBKR, and I'll get to your question in a second, Winston, or comment. So this one we've just got fading. We're at the weekly 9. So as long as that, so here's the thing. I don't like this. So you could take the starter position. This is what I'd be doing. If you're already in it, you're in it. but I wouldn't be heavily long here. You can see how the momentum bars have shifted from green to yellow to red. And let's see the last time I did that. Green to yellow to red. Now, granted, this looks different. It could be a situation like this where we catch support at the 50, but this is where I would look to add. So if we're saying we're in the same stage here and we're catching support at the same spot right here, see that? How this pattern looks very similar to this pattern here. When we're looking at this, what I would want to be doing is wait for that shift to yellow and then to green and then initiate a full buy position. And then you get buy signals and it's like, okay, then we can really start going. That's what I would be doing personally. Um, that's how I would handle that one. Okay, something I noticed, AMD, AVGO, NVIDIA, all fading their daily buys. Seems like semi's losing momentum. Okay, so this is a concept that so I talked about this a while ago, but failing signals, right? So you're doing the right thing and recognizing that. So like if we look at NVIDIA here, and this is why it's so important for you to zoom out. Like, okay, you're buying this, and look, we haven't even tested the 50, which pretty much coincides with the weekly, which yeah, you did technically test it here, but look where we're at. This is the same concept with MP. You're past the weekly extension. Now this is a different type of stock, but granted, it's the same idea. The the bang for your buck is not high here. Like you're trying to chase something that's already made a massive move. Here was your buy signal on the weekly at $25. Now we're at 75 or 85. You're late. That's why I'm focusing. You want to find these longer consolidations and you trade those weekly signals and you can get paid a lot more. Right now, you're trying to catch crumbs instead of even like a slice, right? Like this is crumbs at this point. So like when we're looking at, I'm wondering if there's news or something that hit with this or just a late reaction to like what had earnings last night. Do you guys know? I know Dell had earnings. Yeah, so Dell is gapping down pretty heavily. But here's the same thing, the same principle. If we're just looking at technicals, like uh oh, is that it? Baba's making chips for China. I mean, that's awesome for our Baba position. That's great for our Baba position, honestly. But we'll have to see how well they're doing. We'll have to see how well they're doing with or how good their chips are. But okay, so NVIDIA, right? Looking at this right here is a significantly different situation than this up here. And this is why you guys got to study charts. You like, here's the simplest way I can tell you to study a chart. Look at when did the biggest, think of the stocks that make huge moves, right? Okay. Just, you don't have to be uh really, what's the word? You don't have to be super anal about which stocks you're going to be looking at. Just look up the biggest stocks. You know them. If you've been tracking the market for a while, SMCI, Qualcomm in 2000, Cisco back in the 2000s, um, Nvidia, right? Like Meta, Netflix, like all of these stocks that have made huge moves. Go look at where did the move start? They don't start up here. They do not start up here. They don't start at the weekly 200. Or I mean, sorry, they don't start at the like extended from the weekly 9. Like sometimes you'll get that bounce off like this here, but look at even like just take the video for an example and look at the weekly chart. Here's a run, weekly squeeze. But every time it pulled back to at least the weekly 9, if not the 21, before it made its huge run. Then you've got here, which this is a correction, right? But you zoom out to the monthly chart. This is when SPY was printing monthly buy signals, and you can see this originated from heavy support, weekly squeeze. Um, if we go look at SPY, this is where we had weekly or monthly buy signals. The last time we had monthly buy signals. See? Just like that. And there was monthly buys, and this is where you start to get really aggressive for longer term trading. But you have to understand this is why it's important to zoom out and like why people when you're spending time on a 30-minute charts, these smaller time frames, you're missing these bigger picture setups that can actually make the difference in your portfolio. So all of these big moves originate from at least the weekly nine. Most of the time, it's from a longer consolidation. They don't typically start from the weekly five, which it ends up being close to the 21 EMA. The four, if you want to be really like try hard about it. But so you can see here, NVIDIA had its weekly sell signal. So you have to zoom out. You see a daily squeeze, go look at the weekly chart. We had a weekly sell signal at the ATR or the extension, target extension. Um, Sox was just kind of following, right? Uh, Yeah, so same thing here. Like if you look at OKLO, like this setup looks good, but I'm not I don't want to take it because here was an example right here. And this is where the market corrected. If you go back in time and look at where the market corrected back in here, see if it'll do it. Yeah, so when this took off, let's look at where SPY was at. Look how SPY was looking right here. It bounced off the weekly. So this would be the weekly 21. Yeah, so once it bounced off that weekly 21, that's when OKLO exploded. So that was relative strength, right? So that's the only time I'm really looking at a daily signal. But on top of that, we were at the 9 EMA on the weekly chart. Okay. That's enough of that rant. Let's actually look at what's going on in the market. Okay. So markets a little bloody. NASDAQ almost down 1%. FTN, Airbnb and FTNT. There's nothing to do with this one. It's at resistance. If it starts to turn lower, you could short it. FTNT. This looks really bearish. I wouldn't touch it. Okay. So let's look at the markets. So VIX popping, just getting above 15. Okay, markets, are we putting in a higher or a lower high or what's going on here? I don't know. So let's see what's holding up. Okay, so I think this was an earnings move. This was an earnings move. Baba earnings move. Yeah, this was really nice. We're up nice on this one. Should I think it's just getting started though. What is this? Rockstar Energy. Interesting. They bought Alani earlier. They've been buying a lot of different things. It's pretty interesting. And actually, when they announced the Alani news, it was right here, and that marked the low. And my wife loves Alani. It's actually pretty good. I'm a fan as well. Should have bought it when it happened. This is just a beaten down stock. So we've got a lot of earnings gappers. So no. UPST, nothing there, but it actually could be something setting up soon. You got this inverse head and shoulders showing up. Okay, this one's ripping off the lows. Interesting. Good looking chart. Nike starting to look interesting. When's the last time the 10 and 20. When's the last time we turned green? Back there and then back there. So we could get a move. Not the best looking chart though. And then besides that, yeah, we're not having a good looking day here. It's just earnings gap ups. We'll see if they hold. Is China finally doing the thing? We've been in this for a while. Yen is not doing well. K-Web, K-Web's doing pretty good. Baba's really holding it down. How's Futu doing? Really sad I missed this one right here. Right here when it loads up. Yep, I'm really sad I missed this one right here. This was a beautiful setup. 87% in 12 weeks. So 3 months. Man, I had planned to buy the 150 calls here. I don't remember why I didn't do it. 150 calls for October. Okay, so let's go here. So energy is doing well. Yeah, so you can see here money is flowing into kind of safety stuff. Energy is actually turning around. CVX, how's CL doing? Or Exxon? Yeah, those are kind of popping off. Oh, nope. Looking for CL futures. Oil is just such a choppy thing. It's just nothing we can do there. Okay. So we've got energy, healthcare. Okay, so healthcare could be breaking out of this base, which I like because that would be good for a BSX position. It's mostly trading flat. Yeah, the market's just having a pullback right now. So we can come back today, later today, and see which ones are holding up the best. But this is printing a lower high. So, and we've got a sell signal on the weekly. Could be a short, honestly. We could look to short something. Marvel. Okay, that's probably why a big reason why semis are gapping down as well. SMCI is down. OKLO is down. Uber. Quite the sell-off in Uber. Hold on. I gotta pull up my Discord. Uh, quite the sell-off in Uber. CRWV, so you can see, yeah, all the semis are kind of the heaviest hit, and then OKLO as well. All semis are pulling back here. Yeah, so one thing that I can use as an indicator, unfortunately, is when I have people, family members or whatever, asking, should I be buying this stock here? They were asking right here. My dad was. He's a little, I told him, no, don't buy that. I told him buy Bros. So we bought Bros down in, right on this day here. So I think he's a lot happier with what's going on in NVIDIA. They once they start asking about buying it at higher prices, like XRP, same thing. I told him, no, don't buy XRP. Don't buy XRP when it was up here. And he still did it and he held it. And then I said, I told him, your average cost is so high, just buy more right here. And so then he bought more and then he was able to make money and sell it somewhere right around here, which he was happy about. How's Bitcoin doing? We need to see how that thing's doing. Yeah, so Bitcoin, you can see here, we had this red to green move, or green to yellow to red move. Now we're pulling back to the weekly 21, momentum shifting. This doesn't look good. That's an ugly looking chart as well. Head and shoulders pattern. What's Rocket Lab doing? Oops. So, is anyone able to tell me? I know this is signals are new, right? Or the setup is new. So, when we get, so the candles are still green right now, right? When we get a red, when we start to get red candles, what does that tell you to do? We get red candles on SPY or QQQ. Can anybody tell me what we're supposed to do? Anyone know? Yep. Yep. Don't add to longs. Perfect. Cash or short, depending on the situation. Yep. Perfect. Yeah. So we just want to either sit cash, take our profits, or sit cash. We look here and you just use it on the daily chart. See here, you've got red to yellow to green. You go back to yellow and then, okay, go back green. Now we can go long. Now this is a very choppy market, right? But here's your yellow. Okay, this is a Fed day. So you've got here where we're green, you catch this move to the new highs, then we move to yellow, then we're back to red, and then this is where we're out. We're just cash here. And people are losing their money. You can be going short. You could have gone short on the sell signal right here and had a really nice move. Get the reversal signal, you go to yellow to green, and then we're off to the races. And then we can continue to play long until the signal switch. But yeah, we're getting a pretty healthy pullback here on SPY. Don't even need to watch QQQ anymore. Um, I should add XLF. Okay. Yeah, so if you decide to take Baba with us, we're doing really well here. And let's see the volume coming in. Yeah, we're trading huge volume, so this could continue to run for quite some time. Nice, nice move there. Bros trading within yesterday's range, kind of selling off with the market. Yeah, we're getting a sell signal here, so kind of just be patient. All right, guys, do you have any questions? Because right now we don't have anything to do. So my plan is hold what I've got, because the market can bounce at any time. We're headed towards support. Um, we're green on every position that we're in, besides BSX. We're about down 0.5% on that one. Um, so the next move here, I'm gonna clean this off here. Toast. That's what I want to keep. IONQ, Soxel, BSX. Yeah, so nothing we want to do here at the moment. Everything looks okay. Tesla, we bought at 12, still trading at 12.89. No reason to sell. Maybe if we get daily bars that shift, really it depends on the market. So we'll keep an eye on that. This, as of right now, this looks fine. Oh, it looks fine actually all the way until this low right here. If we break this low, then we can consider closing, but I think that SPY will give us a red light before then. So, and it's just now hitting support. Weekly chart still looks great. Um, but Yeah, so SPY. And then same thing with bros, like we're very extended, so a pullback would be healthy. And yeah. Other than that, we just sit cash and wait to see how's Hut doing. Hut is still holding up very well. Yeah, so with that being said, we just gotta wait. We're getting a sell signal on SPY, so that's probably gonna tell us, hey, chill out. We don't need to look to get long, but we can start building a watch list once we get a good idea of the stocks that are holding up and that have entry signals. But right now we just hit cash. So yeah, QQQ is getting hit pretty hard. We're at the 21 EMA. We're putting in a lower high. So we actually might want to, we'll just wait and see. But depending on how today goes, we might actually want to just go all cash. I'm not going to make any hasty decisions. Just let this play out. Let the charts tell us what to do. But you can see here how things are flipping. Like we've got staples, energy, uh, healthcare all leading the way, which is a little bit annoying because BSX should be doing better than it is, but that's okay. And then we've got some earnings gap ups. We don't necessarily have good setups. So that's kind of a tell that right now the market's not ready. It's just pulling back. And as expected, we were far away from the 21 EMA. When you look at the risk to reward perspective, we were $3 away from 2.5 ATR, 3.5, and we were $9 away from 21 EMA. So right now we're hitting the daily nine, or uh, yeah, better to be in cash. You got to be strategic with the positions that you play. Um, and you have to be in sync with where the market's at. If you're not in sync with how the market's trading, then you're going to probably get burned with what's going on. So, in this weekly chart, you got to be aware. We get these sell signals on the weekly chart, momentum fading to the downside. Very much can see a pullback to the 9 and then even the 21. And you don't want to lose your money because you got long up here and it has a pullback to the weekly 21 and you're like, "Oh, I lost so much money, now I'm scared." Versus the person that goes cash and then just when it pulls back to the 21, it's buying the first stocks that show buy signals and are showing outperformance. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got for you. Hope that helps. Any last minute questions? Or that's it. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll talk to you soon.